Chapter 2, The Spectre.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
I guess I'm done trying
You're
to kill
here
the
to
princess.
slay
It
her.
never works out.
If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Alright, just go into the cabin.
A warning before you go any further.
What?
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
A confession through
She won't be a
projection,
problem.
I'd say. Oh, hello. To the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is cold, a soft odor of dirt permeating the air. Cobwebs flutter in the corners. You can hear wind whistling outside, banging the shutters against the windows. The only furniture of note is an elegant antique table with a pristine blade perched on the edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. It feels like no one's been here for a long, long time. Like I've been saying, she's dead. We killed her already.
No, surely not. Let's enter the basement. No knife required.
The door to the basement groans open, revealing an old banister and a creaky wooden stairwell. Everything is coated in a thick layer of dust, and you can feel it settle into your lungs as you breathe in the stale air. The very building itself feels dead. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. The room below is silent.
No.
Nobody's here. Naturally. As much as I appreciate the optimism, you shouldn't be so sure. I guess we'll just have to go down and see. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A skeletal body lying in a heap on the floor, its wrist still bound to the wall by a thick chain. Okay, she's definitely dead.
Well, I guess we don't need
It's
to do
just
anything then.
like I told you. Before you have a chance to finish your
What?
thought, the top of a head appears from underneath the floor. Two
Ooh.
deep-set eyes stare up at you, followed by a mischievous, skeletal grin. And finally, the rest of the body floats up to join the head. Wait, this isn't right. What's going on here? Ghost! Oh,
Thanks, Hero.
wow. How absolutely terrifying. What's a ghost supposed to do to us?
Oh, it's you. Hiya, Keller. I was hoping to see you again. I have some issues with how our last meeting went.
That's
The
understandable.
princess drifts across the room into your orbit, gently running her fingers across your shoulders and down your neck as she circles you. Her touch is cold and ethereal, formless yet real enough that her icy fingertips send shivers dancing across your skin. So she has a body, and she's right there. We could probably grab her and kill her again, if we wanted to. We don't even need a blade. She looks fragile enough to me.
Well, killing her was clearly a mistake last time, so let's not. Let's see how things
I
play
see
out.
you don't have that annoying knife anymore.
I don't.
Does that mean you regret what you've done? Are you here to apologize and make nice? Beg for absolution, maybe? Because I might be interested in seeing a little begging.
Alright, I killed you! What are you doing? Not dead. Do you know why you came back? Stop playing the victim. You threatened me last time. I'm sorry I killed you last time. I shouldn't have done that. Do you want me to die? Do you want me to kill myself to satisfy some sort of sick revenge fantasy? Because I already did that, and it wouldn't be hard to do it again. I'm sorry, is there any way I can make it up to you? The people who wanted you dead tricked me, and the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Let's team up. What do you want from me? If I knew I'd wind up having to talk to you again, I wouldn't have slain you. I died too, and I'm not floating around like you are. What happened? Why am I different? Why are you different? You're dead, or at least mostly dead. What can you even do to hurt me? Oh, sheesh, so many options. After I killed you, this cabin, I want to say it teleported? It wasn't in the woods anymore. Time stopped meaning anything, and I had to kill myself to escape? I guess I should tell you why I was sent to kill you. You were going to end the world. I was told you were going to end the world. Okay, clearly saying slaying you isn't going to work. What do you want? Okay, team, I'm out of ideas. Thoughts? If you're dead, then there really isn't much for me to do, is there? I guess I'll get going. Right, I don't think there's much more for us to talk about. I'm going to get my blade and then the two of us can fight. Or grab the princess. Okay. Oh, what do I even want to do? Where was the thing? I died too, and I'm not floating around like you are. What happened? Why am I different? Why are you different?
You don't look dead, killer.
The princess grabs your wrist, a sudden shock of cold flowing all the way up your arm, her eyes still fixed on yours as you try to squirm out of her grip.
And you don't feel dead either.
Yeah, no, it's
She
kind
lets
of
go
weird.
and pulls away. Your fingertips tingle painfully as the chill subsides.
I'm less interested in why you are, or how you are, and a lot more interested in what you are. I've tried to leave on my own. Before you came back to me, I explored every inch of this place, even the spaces between the walls, but I never found a way out. I always wound up right back here. I just want to go home. I'm so cold and alone here. But you can come and go as you please, can't you? So, let me hitch a ride. After all, you owe me.
Okay, you're a lot more sympathetic before that last line.
Absolutely not. Is she asking if she can possess us? She is. And I hope I don't need to explain why you can't let that happen. It would be catastrophic if she managed to escape this place. And if you let her in, there is very little anyone could do to stop her. Would she be able to see us if we went along with it?
Well, that'd be
Isn't
interesting.
that an interesting thought? We could finally bring her face to face with him. I wonder what she would have to say to the one who wants her dead so badly. You won't like how things play out if you go down this path.
This would be just temporary, right? You'll leave once we're out of the cabin?
To, but for all we know, that's not how it works. Maybe I'll wind up stuck with you for a long time.
Don't much like the sound of that. It's crowded enough in here as is. It could be the best way to trap her for good. Doesn't seem like it would be very easy to end the world from inside someone else's body. That is a
True.
very dangerous train of thought.
Before I agree to anything, we need to talk about what happens after you leave this place. I was told you'd end the world.
You just believed that? You killed me without giving it any thought? That's cold.
That's rich coming from her. Every time she touches us, it's like we freeze over. She's right, though, but that's neither here nor there. What's done is done. What we do from this point forward is all that matters. Let's try not to let emotion get the better of it.
Well, were you going to end the world?
I just wanted to leave. I still just want to leave.
What are you going to do if I help you get
I
out?
don't know. Maybe I'll just fade away. Finally able to rest once I'm free from my unfinished business. Maybe I'll find someone to haunt. Maybe I'll haunt you.
Yeah, there are worse fates.
It's a tough question, asking someone what she's going to do with her life.
The princess leans in close and pauses, the frigid air between you stale and unmoving.
Especially when it's someone that's dead.
She pulls back with a playful giggle.
I don't think most living people could answer that, either. Does anyone actually know who they are or what they want?
You didn't answer my question. Do you want to end the
only
world?
thing I've ever wanted was to leave this place. It's still the only thing I want.
I guess I'll leave it at that. Hold on. Oh, geez, so much. Okay. Do you know why you came back?
How should I know? Why does anyone come back? Maybe I have unfinished business with you. Or maybe you have unfinished business with me. All I know is there's a hole in my chest. Not the big obvious one that you put there. There's something older and deeper.
Oh.
A nagging reminder that I'm not where I'm supposed to be.
Stop playing the victim. You threatened me last time.
Yeah, you brought a knife with you. Was I supposed to just welcome you with open arms when you obviously had stabbing on the mind?
That knife could have been for
It
anything.
could have, but it wasn't. You can't blame me for threatening a would-be knife-wielding murderer. Especially when that would-be knife-wielding murderer became an actual knife-wielding murderer.
I mean, yeah, she's right. Look, I'm sorry I killed you last time. I shouldn't
Too
have done
little,
that.
too late. But you can still make things right.
She's not in a position to bargain with us. You don't have to do anything you don't want to. We don't have to do anything, but maybe we should. We did kill her. Wouldn't it be the moral thing to help her now that we have another chance? When a hero slays a monster, does he apologize to it? No. So don't try to make things right. She was going to end the world. You didn't do anything wrong, aside from apparently killing yourself, and that doesn't have much to do with her.
Do you want me to die? Do you want me to kill myself to satisfy some sort of sick revenge fantasy? Because I already did that, and it wouldn't be hard to do it again.
Because personally, I'd prefer if we didn't die again. If that's what it comes down to, that's what it comes down to. But I don't see the point of offing ourselves just yet.
Oh, that's sweet of you to offer. But killing yourself wouldn't help either of us.
It would seem that everyone here is in agreement except for you. I shouldn't have to tell you that you shouldn't kill yourself. So please, try to keep your suicidal tendencies in check.
Sure
Like
thing.
I said, I just want to go home.
After I killed you, this cabin, I want to say teleported? It wasn't in the woods anymore. Time stopped meaning anything, and I had to kill myself to
You
escape.
poor thing. That must have been so frightening for you.
Is this sarcasm?
After everything we've been through, it's nice to see someone finally sympathising with us. This whole thing's been an ordeal, hasn't it? She doesn't mean it.
It serves you right.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
was pretty scared too, when you stood there not saying a word with a knife clenched in your fist. But now you know how bad it hurts to get stabbed in the chest.
It sounds like you got exactly what you were owed.
If you can go through walls, can't you just leave on your own?
I wish that's how it worked, but this place won't let me go.
Okay. Look, if I knew I'd wound up having to talk to you, I wouldn't have slain you. Just
And
to be
if I
clear.
knew you were going to murder me without even knowing who I was, I wouldn't have given you the chance.
We all make mistakes.
And what are you doing being not dead?
I don't feel very bad, but I guess I'm not dead. So you must have only mostly killed me.
Makes sense.
Or maybe death is only mostly real, but it's also mostly not real. I'm not sure. I'm just the one these things have happened to, not the one with all the answers. Or any of the answers.
But we're not a ghost. Unless we are? Death, at least as a form of permanence, is just a concept. And clearly it's not a very useful one anymore. Maybe we should throw it out entirely. See, this is why I didn't want you to talk to her. Death is not just a concept, it is an extremely real phenomenon. Don't let her distort your reality. Cold, hard facts exist. The truth exists. It has to.
Okay. Let's get you out of here, princess.
The princess swims through the air in front of you, pausing for a brief moment as her dark-rimmed eyes stare deeply into yours. There's a hunger in her gaze.
You're really trying to make it up to me, aren't you? Thanks for being a pal, killer. I mean it.
Anything for my former murder victim.
What are you doing? Don't just let her in. How many times do I have to tell you?
See you soon.
Well, that's ominous.
She rushes forward and then she's gone. A sharp chill spreads across your body. It starts in your chest, a freezing numbness flowing out from your heart, all the way down your limbs, your mind growing cloudy and confused as it settles over your very soul. I'm not sure I like this. Can we get a do-over?
No,
I'm afraid it's too late to stop
that's
now.
a disconcerting
The
noise.
numbness gives way to a stabbing pain, your muscles twitching and convulsing violently, each involuntary movement causing more waves of agony to ripple across your body. You collapse to the floor, and everything goes dark.
Yeah, I thought that would turn
Come on,
out
you.
better.
You've got to get up. I know everything feels heavy right now, but we still have to get out of here.
Yeah, I thought I was dead. Spoke too soon.
Your eyes flick back open as you get your bearings, your vision swimming as...
So this is what it's like to be you, huh? Disembodied voice narrating your every move?
Yeah, don't knock until you tried it.
It doesn't work like that for you? Clearly it doesn't, or she wouldn't have commented on it.
All these shards of broken glass on the floor, are they also supposed to be you?
That's an interesting way of describing
Hey,
it.
I'm not a shard of broken glass, I'm
It's okay. You can finish your thought.
a voice? I'm me is what I am. Who cares what we are? We exist. That's all that matters.
You don't have to fight. We'll all be out of here soon.
Oh, she's so
No,
sweet.
it matters. What we are matters. If I'm a shard of broken glass, then that raises some questions about certain other voices in here too. I'm clearly the same thing you are.
They're not listening to me. Do they not listen to you either?
Not
No, I'm
particularly.
not talking about you, I'm talking about him. You don't need to know what I am. You just need to know that I'm different from you. More important.
Yeah, that's what
So,
you would say.
you're the one who pulled the strings and made me dead. I can tell you don't belong here. You're barely even there. Like the shape of something left behind. You're more of a memory than a person.
That's rude.
You're kind of like me, actually.
I'm just going to ignore her. You push yourself off the ground. The princess is nowhere to be seen. Obviously, she's nowhere to be seen.
Because I'm in here with all of you. Everybody knows that.
I'm setting the stage.
True.
The room is empty because you made a spiteful, idiotic, and all-round foolish decision.
Yeah, if this is our last sort of run through, I'm glad that this feels fitting to be like the last
You
run
don't
through.
have to let him get to you. You're better than that. You're starting to make things right.
This is infuriating. Just whatever you do, you can't leave this place. It's not too late to fix this. Probably.
Let's leave the basement.
Your legs, weary with the weight of the princess's spectral form and clumsy with the cold that still pervades them, stumble towards the stairs.
I'm just trying to get home. You don't have to act like it's the end of the world.
But that's exactly what you leaving this place is going to be.
You don't know that.
I do. Wait, if she has a home to go back to, doesn't that mean that her leaving won't end the world? It doesn't mean that at all. It could mean that wherever her home is, it's outside of the world. Yeah, but it has to be somewhere, doesn't it? And if it's somewhere, then it's part of the world. I suppose it's all a matter of perspective. Where does the world end and something else begin? Does the destruction of one open a door to another? Or is it the same world reborn? Against the backdrop of the inane conjecture of meaningless little voices, your body continues its ascent up the stairs, staggering through the open door. For how much you hate her, you aren't doing a whole lot to stop us from leaving this place.
Don't give him
Maybe
ideas.
the bossy one doesn't actually hate me. Maybe he even likes me. Or maybe he just knows that he's been in the wrong. Maybe he's trying to make amends too.
Not at all.
Oh.
I'll have you know that I do hate you, and I will continue to hate you for as long as I am able. It's just the weight of it all. It's too much for me to do anything other than describe and dictate. And whine. This body wasn't made to hold you and the princess. If you want to renege on your cataclysmically terrible decision a minute ago, well, you're the only one that can make that happen.
That's what I like to hear. We will trudge forward.
You continue slowly to the door, your feet like lead dragging across the floorboards, growing heavier with each step.
We're so close. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If we get out of here, I won't even care that you murdered me anymore.
Oh.
You
You're
lift
so
your shaking
sweet.
hand and rest it on the door handle. But you pause before you open it, exhaustion sapping what's left of your will.
No.
Was exhaustion really the best you could muster up? It's over. There's no use stalling. Let's see what happens next.
Let's open that door.
Shit. But exhaustion wasn't enough, was it? The handle clicks as you twist it, and then the door groans open. You collapse to the ground, you and the princess, free from the confines of the cabin. As you exhale from the effort, you look up and see...
Yes, the
yes?
nothingness.
Nothing. He's gone, and so is everything else.
So we did slay him after all. He had it coming, I suppose. But what about us? Are we just stuck here in nowhere forever? Did taking her out of the cabin really end the world? We're still here. Yeah, but that thing you said earlier, are we not part of the world anymore? Are we in some world that exists after the world ends, or on top of the other world but not in it, or have we never been part of it?
Okay, I've heard enough from these two.
Would be
Let's see if I
nice.
can pop out.
We did it. You feel a lightness in your chest as a pair of sunken eyes emerge from your body and stare up at you.
Anna, you actually freed me, didn't you? I'm outside. Thanks for giving me a second chance, Killer.
Don't
No
mention.
problem.
I think this is where I'm meant to be.
Huh. Well. You don't get the chance to respond, nor will you ever. It's time to leave. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her?
Quit panicking.
Is that a mirror? Why is it here? Why now?
Don't worry, this is the end for you, but it's not the end for me.
I would have kept them in the dark if I were you.
Fair enough.
What is that supposed to mean? Whatever awful thing I felt before, it feels so much worse now.
To the mirror we go. You approach the mirror. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone once again. The mirror always makes them leave. But you need to see what's in it. Nothing? You are nothing at all. But that isn't right. You can't be nothing. You refocus your gaze, and then you see it. A figure, faint and veiled in shadow, just beyond the reflection. Are you me?
I think you know what I am.
What? You're here? A crack slides down the center of the mirror, splitting the image in the glass in two. And then another crack forms, and another, turning the mirror into jagged shards of broken glass. What the... Okay, we got a lot of options. So you're the narrator. I was wondering if I'd ever get to see. What are you? Are you something like me? If you're not me, then what are you? I have so many questions for you. Does it hurt when pieces of you break off like that? I'm sorry, I don't want to destroy you. Will it help if I look away or stop asking questions? Every time I ask you something, it's like a piece of you breaks. Are you a part of me, or are you something else? You're the one who wanted me to slay the princess. Why? I met you many times. Have you been the same you all along? I wasn't supposed to see all this, was I? What is this place? Where are we? Okay, let's start with... So, you're the narrator. I was wondering if I'd ever get to see you.
The narrator, yes. I suppose that's my job, isn't it? You needed help, after all. An objective voice to guide your blade. But you were never supposed to see me. I wonder how many worlds you've damned to extinction to fall this far.
I've met you many times. Have you been the same you all along?
I haven't, and that's by both necessity and design.
Why?
This construct you're in exists in many places at once. Anytime you failed, anytime you thought yourself dead, it would restart and shunt both your consciousness and hers into another world. But you'll be awake soon, and then it won't be able to work like that anymore.
What do you mean? If you're not me, then what are you?
I'm an echo, likely one of many. Somebody made you after all, and I'm what's left of him. Not that I'm the only one who can make that claim. I'm sure you've met many others like me.
So, you do know about the looping. So many of the times I met you, you denied it as even being a possibility. Why did you lie to me?
Any other version of me you talked to was just that, a version of me. It wasn't me. As to why they lied, perhaps they thought that admitting to it would have pushed you to certain realizations that would have made finishing your task impossible. Maybe they were just in denial. I'm sure many of them were convinced that they had to be the first version of them you'd encountered. Anything else would have been too existentially unpleasant. For all I know, each of those other versions of me could have had entirely different understandings of how this construct works. Who's to say which of them are right and which of them are wrong, really? Except for me. I can tell you for a fact that I'm right.
Yeah. Every time I ask you something, it's like a piece of you breaks.
I'm aware. And if I were you, I'd be more precious about your time.
That's fair. What is the princess? Did you make her too?
She is the shifting mound, the ebb and flow, the capacity to change. She is transformation, or most of it. Her nature is why I had to die, for she becomes that which others perceive her to be. But an echo can't perceive things, not in the way that people can. So I tucked a part of myself into the folds of this construct to guide you. This isn't the end just yet. You can still destroy her and save everyone. You were made to do this single task, and you will still have a chance to fulfill your purpose.
I don't believe you. Do you know that things won't just be worse if I destroy her?
Of course they will be worse. I saw a glimpse of a better world, and I did what I could to make it real. Anything is better than oblivion. In the end, nobody wants to leave.
If she's capable of becoming whatever people believe her to be, can't I just will her into something small?
As you are now, you won't be able to will her into anything. You don't work the way a living being does. Not anymore. And as you were before, you couldn't be trusted with the knowledge of what she is. No one could be trusted with that knowledge. Intrusive thoughts have a way of creeping in and ruining everything. It's why I had to die.
Of all things, why is she a princess? Why couldn't she be an ant or a slice of soggy bread?
Are you asking me to spend my final moments psychoanalyzing you? She wound up a princess because you wanted her to be a princess. As to why, maybe she needed to be beautiful, important, above you, but on a level you could still approach. A herald of things to come. I don't know. Gods are supposed to be beyond comprehension. I really shouldn't try and anthropomorphize you like this.
Wait, what? Hold on, what did he... And what is my true identity?
You're the Long Quiet, the god I made to rid the world of death.
I trust her more than I trust him still. Like if she... What did he said she's like the capacity for change or something? Where was that? She is the shifting mound, the ebb and flow, the capacity to change. She is transformation or most of it. Her nature is why I had to die. And that sounds like a positive thing, honestly. So I'm siding with her. And I want him to know. I'm not going to slay her, and I want you to know that before you die for good.
Well, there's no reasoning with a god. Even one you've woven into existence yourself. I've said my piece, and my time is up. It's like I said, I'm just an echo. And echoes always fade away.
As the final fragment of glass shatters, you see yourself with newfound clarity. The narrator was right. You are the Long Quiet, a vast and nascent god, and it is finally time for you to wake up. All of this is you. Alright, proceeding to the cabin one last time. When you arrive at the heart of things, there is no final vessel for you to bear witness to. There's nothing for you to find. Oh? This is different. Hello?
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me.
Yes, you are interesting.
It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly.
Uh-huh. The parents of the long quiet, but I don't really know what that means.
Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the Shifting Mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am.
Do you know about the Echo? Did you hear our conversation?
Every word you spoke found its way to me. I know him, and I know his construct. He was deluded by his fear of death. Pay him no mind.
I see. So what happens now?
Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it?
I suppose.
When the Echo spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes.
Wait, so the Echo spun us from one into two. So we used to be like one kind of unified deity? At some point? So I'm not clear exactly what I represent, other than just a vessel to kill the concept of change and transformation. Which I guess that could be like a chaos order dichotomy. Perhaps.
So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation?
Oh man, there's a lot of options here. Okay. There's so many stories we've left unfinished. Can we really just leave? Don't you have a say in all of this? Why is this falling on me? Let's talk this through. I still have so many questions, and I need answers before I can make a choice. If I let you out, an entire world ends for good. I can't do that. If you were always going to become this, then what was the point of me doing anything? Did it even matter what roads I walked if all of them would have led to this moment? There has to be another way. This can't just come down to me either destroying you or letting you out. I won't do it. I told you what was going to happen when we reached this point. Oh, that would be a Slay the Princess. Good to know she's still got a princess moniker. Slay the Princess. Or I think it's time for us to leave this place, but I don't know how to leave or where to go. Let's explore first. Let's start with this. Yeah, there's so many stories we've left unfinished. Can we really just leave?
Even as your eyes begin to open, you still hold on to the notions of is and is not, of beginning and end, pitch black islands in the blinding light of the infinite. There is nothing to resolve, nothing restraining us but us.
Huh. I guess since she's like, she, as depicted here with like all of the, like she's a construct of like a bunch of different women. She's like, almost like a multiverse sort of thing, I guess, where she's all possibility wrapped into one, right? The manifestation of all that is and all that could be. And I guess from that perspective, if she is the manifestation of all that is and all that could be, then I guess from that sense and perspective, it really doesn't matter if we specifically played through the other like routes the story could have taken, because she's already all that is and all that could be. If that makes sense. Theology is difficult. Let's see. But don't you have a say in all this? Well, hold on. Let's talk this through. I still have so many questions, and I need answers before I can make a choice.
My very nature is paradox, as is yours. You cannot use words to grasp at things that are beyond their reach. And you cannot rationalize that which defies logic.
Well, that's a bit of a defeatist attitude to take.
But violence and passion are dances that both of us know well. If this is what it takes to enlighten you, then so be it.
What?
A shiver passes through you as unseen fingers, cold as the grave, dance across your skin. They remember the violence you inflicted on them, and yet they do not return it. I offer you a path to your redemption, and you take my hand in yours. You felt the pain you caused another, and you were willing to sacrifice everything you thought was you to set me free. Without sin, there is no redemption.
Uh-huh. But without redemption, there can be no sin. That's an interesting concept. Not sure it actually holds up logically. Right? Because redemption as a concept is just like you can kind of make up for your previous failings. If there was no redemption, you can still fail. It just means that any given failure is irrecoverable, right? You can't make up for it. You're just stuck, right? It's like if you had a society where every crime was punishable by the death penalty, right? That would be a society with no redemption, but there'd certainly be the potential to sin in the form of, doing a crime and getting the death penalty. So I just don't think that's a statement that holds up to logic, so I'm not going to say it, because I don't say things that are illogical. Let's see, and I would sacrifice everything to free you again, or I won't engage with violence. And this isn't really violence, this is rhetoric. Or I can remain silent. And her statement, though, without sin there is no redemption, is actually true. This is one of those statements where, you can say it one way and then it sounds all profound when you mirror it, but it's nonsensical. But the first way does actually make sense, right? If there is no sin, because I think sin, I forget what the exact, roots of it, but it literally means, to miss the mark. I think it's like an archery term from, old Germanic or something. Again, don't quote me on that. I don't know off the top of my head the specific etymology, but I do remember hearing that. But if there is no mark to miss, right, if there's no standard in the first place, then there's no point in being redeemed. So her statement is true. This retort isn't. So I would either, and I do like her, so far. She's pretty cool, especially when she's not a murderous psychopath. So we could either, I say we either remain silent, or I would sacrifice everything to free you again. Would I? Sure.
And yet there is nothing left for you to sacrifice, so long as you accept me with open arms. My masses mob you. There is no beginning to them, nor is there an end. There is only the flood of bodies, and every moment you hold every possible sensation at once, and then you hold them all again. And in the end, you returned it to me. For a brief moment, you were everything. A chaos that needed ordering, but without chaos, there is no reason.
Let's see, I couldn't understand you then, but I think I understand you now. You seemed in pain. I'm sorry for what I did to you, but it was the only thing I could do. I would engage with violence. I get it. There's no need for us to keep fighting. I'll leave with you. I know. Okay. But it was painful. It was so painful. There was no way to live. You seemed in pain. I'm sorry for what I did to you, but it's the only thing I could do.
I saw with a single pair of eyes what I needed dozens to comprehend. And now here we are, each with millions of eyes, and all of them opening to what we are.
Oh.
A boundless torrent of blades cut you from boundless angles. You are a body. You are gory ribbons. You are a body again. And you feel all of it.
Yeah, don't remind her at this one. This was my low point, that's for sure.
On and on it goes until your bodies are not your thoughts or not you. Alive, dead, alive, dead, alive, dead, then alive and dead and alive and dead all at once. You learned to put yourself away and to follow the flow of reality. And you used it to humble me, to show me how far I was from what I needed to be. You died countless steely deaths, and you lived countless short lives, and yet it is all so far behind you. Unjust impossibilities pushed you to become something you would never have been without them.
Didn't last, wasn't worth it. After everything you put me through, it felt good to watch you fall apart. Even if the journey was agony, the end gave the struggle meaning. I won't engage with violence, or I get it. Okay. It didn't last, it wasn't worth it. Would you have wanted that to last? After everything you put me through, it felt good to watch you fall apart. Or even if the journey was agony, the end gave the struggle meaning. And actually, you know, both of those actually play into her hands, right? Again, this is like a, you know, this... I don't see the logic behind it. It didn't last, it wasn't worth it. At least in this context. Yeah. It would be a good thing for murderous psychopaths to not last, as it were. So we got this one, which is basically kind of a, you know, you gotta be forged in the fire sort of sentiment of you gotta go through the struggle and you come out better the other side. Actually, no, that's what this one is that. This one is kind of revenge, like, which is a bit more shallow, I think, right? And yeah, someone does something bad to you, there's a certain schadenfreude of then seeing something bad happen to them. But in terms of what actually here would have long-term meaning, it is by virtue of the struggle, you sharpen yourself into a finer tool, more capable in the future.
And even then, what we saw was not an ending. When I thought I had reached an unconquerable peak, you showed me how much further I could still climb.
An appeal to the very concept of self-improvement here. It's just, again, one thing to keep in mind here. As far as like a goddess, she is the goddess of, as far as I can tell, you know, change and transformation. And the funny thing about that is it's a double-edged sword. Change and transformation, that is both decay and it, while also being improvements and advancements, right? The change itself is ambivalent as to whether or not it's good. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but you get rid of change altogether and that's not necessarily an ideal.
Your liver drives a stake into your body, and another, and another, and another. Do I miss your heart because I can't stand to see it go?
Oh.
But the stakes meant nothing to you. You had a desire, and you set that desire free. You lifting me and me lifting you. Forever and ever and ever. Consumed by true belief, there was nothing that could hold us back.
So I was blinded by emotion, we both know that. I want that feeling back. That feeling never left me. I would engage with violence. Yeah, I mean, I think of these, probably this is actually the most true one. That feeling never left me. I think that second playthrough really kind of endeared me to the princess, even as we went through some more tumultuous routes after that. And perhaps that's even part of why thus far I've been siding with her over the narrator at this point.
Then there's no need for you to fight with me now. Whenever you're ready, we can leave together, hand in loving hand.
Ooh, I'm ready. I want to stop and leave with you. I mean, philosophically, I don't actually disagree with her. Really. I mean, change in the real world is just an inevitability, so no point in well, I was gonna say no point fighting against it. That's not entirely true. Because like I said, there's positive change, there's negative change. You can fight against specific changes that you think are detrimental, and perhaps fend them off. But you can't fight against change itself. Change will occur. If not over your short time on the world, over the long arc of history. The only constant is changes, whether technological, geopolitical, cultural. Yeah. I agree with her. I like her. Why are we fighting? I'm ready. I want to leave with you. We'll stop the fight early and surrender. And I kind of do want to see what she brings up about, because we haven't gotten to our first round yet, but... I think... And what's going to be brought up there that wouldn't have been more convincing than bringing up our deep and abiding love at one time.
Nothing brings me greater joy than to hear those words. The final piece lies with you.
What do you mean by that? Free myself? Was I just a... I guess she did say that, like, the echo kind of tore us apart to create me. Was I just kind of basically like one of the princesses this whole time? Sorta? Just another piece of her? You fall into yourself. The body of an ancient creature stirs from its hibernation, and you feel sensation in limbs you once couldn't fathom. Everything here, except for her, is you. You feel your wings. Okay, so I'm not a part of her, I can see. You feel your wings spanning a cosmic scale, but twisted and crumpled and bound in agonized tension to a finite plane. You can feel the glass of the construct pressing in on you, confining you across infinite sides and infinite angles. You push back, strain against it. But it does not yield.
I love you.
Oh. Is that the push I need? Take her hand. Thank you. Princess, can I still call you princess? That feels wrong. But also I don't want to call you like the writhing mound or whatever. So princess will work. All at once, the unyielding tension breaks. Oh. You are free, and she is with you. Is that the grass god?
It's magnificent.
There are no words, no thoughts to describe absolute reality. Something that simply is. So what happens now?
Everything. Just like it always has been. And just like it always will be.
Okay. And we'll be together? As, I guess, what, gods in this world? Sign me up! Let's step into the infinite. You and she step forward into 1,000 dawns and 1,000 sunsets, each of which contains 1,000 more. You exist, and you are aware, just as you have always been, and just as you will always be. Though conflict is in your nature, the two of you will never be alone, and the two of you will never know fear. You and she are finally home. And that was Slay the Princess. I have to say, in terms of games, especially game stories, this has got to be one of the best ones. Like, it is... even the better game stories, it's rare that they actually really kind of are actually about deep sort of philosophical points and have like a point to them. And this one I feel like did. It actually kind of had the sort of... it had depth to it, like you'd find in a decent text. Who knows, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I think it was a very interesting commentary on the nature of, like, that sort of stuff. Also, apparently, thank you so much for playing. As an expression of my gratitude, here's the track order for a special playlist just for you. If you'd like to take a screenshot, you can hide the UI by hitting H. Guess I can do that. There you go, y'all. That's our song. I guess this probably reflects the route we took through the game. I would have liked to ask her a few more questions before we entered into, like, the combats, but that's okay. Again, I don't need to explore all this stuff. We will return. Alright, and that was Slay the Princess. I hope you all enjoyed this journey through. I won't rule out playing it again. Obviously, we can probably get different endings in the kind of the main portion of the game. Get a different ending at like the very end if we decide to like actually kill her or something. I won't rule it out, but I do feel that we have had one satisfying playthrough of the game, and you know what? If you guys want to see the rest of it, I think this was quite a good game, so you ought to go and buy it yourself and experience your own story through it, I would say. So again, won't rule it out, but unlikely. I do know apparently the same developer has made, or I think has a game in early access, like an episodic game. So we might check that out. I quite enjoyed this, so I'd be interested in seeing what else they've done. So maybe leave a comment telling me if you think that would be a good idea. But anyways, guys. Until next time, I have been CMeeCraft, and I will catch you in the next video, whether more Slay the Princess or something else. Goodbye.